Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Nines video with myself, Mike and Sloth today. Not a player breakdown, actually someone potentially departing the club, and it's come out of nowhere really. Emerson's obviously got himself into the West Ham team in the last couple of years, especially last season. Since the Conference League final, really, he's just kind of made that position his own, and he's now attracting interest from elsewhere, with AC Milan having made contact with him, according to Damasio. And yeah, they think he would provide good depth and would welcome a return to Italy. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to not have to break a player down that people aren't aware of. Obviously, people are watching know exactly what Emerson's been for West Ham. Been fantastic. Dropped off a little bit in the last few months of the season last season, but what player didn't? But in terms of left backs, he's been one of the most talented and consistent we've had in a long time, in terms of defensively, which surprised me, to be honest, in terms of playing in a back four. But offensively as well, we knew the quality he had in possession and on the ball. So this link, A, would you entertain it at all? And B, if we were to sell him, what price would you be looking for Emerson?
I would only entertain this as a deal if we had a deal for, say, Bradley Locko. Like that. That's it. Like it would have to be. We'd have a young, exceptional left back that we've got lined up. That's the only way I'd let it go, because what's the point? Because the alternative is Cresswell, or the talks of Ryan Sessegnon at the moment have been the two talks about. Miranda looks like, although he's been linked to us, looks like he's probably going to Porto. So you then start going, well, you have to go and buy a left back. And of the left backs out there, Bradley Locko is the one that I would think would be really suited to the Premier League. It had a brilliant season last year, and he's probably quite attainable for us, especially the fact that the likes of Arsenal are probably going to be looking more at I can't remember his name. I think pretty sure it's Hato at Ajax, who plays centre back and left back. The young kid there, they're probably going to look at the likes of him over, say, Locko. So that's the only reason I would do it, is if we had something like that lined up. For a bid, I don't think you can take anything less than 20, 25 million. I think Sport's still got 2 years left on his contract, maybe 3.
He's turning 30 in August.
He is. However, this is Italy. A 30-year-old is like signing a 20-year-old. He's got another good 10 years in him in Italy.
But 25 million is quite a lot.
It is a lot of money, but that's for me his value to our first team, because we have to use that
of the alternatives, right?
Yeah, because we have to use that money to go get ourselves a new starting left back, and I think a new starting left back is going to cost us around about that. It's like we said on the Kilman video. It's an overinflated kind of price, but it's the price of his value to us as a club and what we would probably need in which to go and replace. So it's a lot of money, but again, it also deters interest as much as it maybe secures us the ability to go and get a replacement.
What do you think on it, Sloth? Obviously, Emerson, he signed really as a fourth or fifth choice left back when we were looking in that department a couple summers back. He made his way into the team. People were skeptical at first because, could he play in the back four? Was he more of a back three wing back? I think he kind of proved very quickly that he can do the defensive side as well. At times, definitely got caught out, definitely has been lazy, definitely has been, a more attack-minded fullback. But I think he's been kind of forced to defend in what was a David Moyes system for the last couple of years. And I think he's actually done really well. But in terms of someone who's, turning 30, his contract expires in 2026. If a decent offer comes in for him, would you be tempted to sell and, try and bring in a replacement? Or is it just not worth the hassle this summer and maybe it could be something for next summer?
I don't think I'd be tempted to sell. And I think, unless it was a silly offer, unless it was 25, 30 million, I don't see the point in taking a risk, because you also have to consider the massive factor of his off the pitch presence. And, it's not just the fact that he links up so well with Paqueta. It's the fact that he is so popular within the dressing room. He's so influential. And for these young players coming over like Guilherme, if we have any more young Brazilians coming over, he's going to be a huge point for them. He's going to be someone who they can trust, look up to, and, chat to about West Ham. He can boost their confidence. He's an experienced professional. It's a massive boost for them. And I think when you're looking at a left back in terms of the defensive game, personally, I still think he's better than Cresswell. But offensively, he's another level entirely. And as I made a point of in the thread I did on Babbling Eyes, the link up play we saw on that left hand side was vital. It was some of the best best work we saw on the pitch. And I think when you factor in that another player has to step into that, it's a huge transition. So I would, unless it was a silly offer, I wouldn't entertain it.
Question for you both. Could we potentially, if we sell Emerson, does that pave the way for Ben Johnson to come in at left back and we sign a right back instead?
No, I think Ben Johnson will be looked at as right back. I don't think they'll look to entertain an inverted left back. Even though Johnson's probably been best when he's played left back compared to right back. But I think it would be, if we're selling Emerson, it's because we've got another left back coming in. We don't. So I don't think it happened. And also, bearing in mind, Emerson was directly called out by Guilherme as one of the contributing factors for him signing. And the way it's shaping up, maybe Guilherme is possibly looked at as a potential left winger and starting left winger. So, as a club, I don't think you would look to remove a player like Emerson to help support a young player like Guilherme, and also potentially Paqueta's there as well, to have that triangle on that left hand side, who also can speak in Brazilian Portuguese, communicate in native language to help and ease Guilherme into games. To me, that it seems illogical to do that this season, especially with the raft of changes. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if within the club there are some talks around him potentially, because of his, let's just say, elder statesman kind of figure that he'll be this year. Because if we're going to drop the age so much, whether he's considered as an outside shout for captain.
Not for me personally. I don't think he has the leadership qualities. No.
Yeah, but Kurt Zuma never has.
No.
And look why he was chosen. Look what he's done. I don't think you can get any worse than.
And sometimes it's leadership by performances, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't mean that as a disrespect to Kurt Zuma. I just don't. The selection kind of baffled me as him as captain, but I think the caveat is Emerson going to want this move? And look, we can't compete with AC Milan. That's the long and short of it. It's as much as we'd like to say, oh yeah, no, he won't leave. We can't compete with AC Milan, but it's got to be on our terms. It's got to be on West Ham's terms. And unless he really,
are you surprised that AC Milan are in for him?
No, he's an Italian international. He's proved when he was at Roma, he's a quality left back in the Italian Serie A. And, Hernandez does love a yellow card or two. So they're going to need a left back at some point in the season. And I think one of the things that he struggled with this year was maybe not having the rotation when they needed it to go on and win the league. And they fell behind Inter Milan. So by having players of known quality to be part of their overall squad, I think is something that's going to be very important for them as they try and push on multiple fronts.
Do you think Emerson would want to move to be kind of a squad player rather than, in West Ham, he's guaranteed first team football right now?
I think at this point in his career,
he's won it all, isn't he?
He's been a bit part player for a fair chunk of his career when he was at Chelsea and so on, and then shafted out on loan, played a few games when he was on loan. Obviously at Roma, he was a starter before he came over to Chelsea. I don't know. Personally, I think at 29, he's probably thinking, no, I've got a few more years in me. And he's probably even thinking maybe I can get another 1 or 2 years as a starter at West Ham. And then, go to a club like AC Milan when I've still got the quality to be more of a squad player and to be one of those elder statesmen. And as I jokingly and flippantly said, Italy, you kind of have a longer career because the way the game is played, it's more about the tactical side than maybe an emphasis on, huge pace and all that. Although it's changed in Syria, it's still more that tactical side of the game and type.
they also have the best medical team in the world at AC Milan. You know, they're if there's any club that can elongate a career, it's AC Milan. So I would be surprised if he wasn't interested in a move. I would be surprised if he wanted to leave being first choice left back to go and be a squad player at this point in his career. But as I said, you know, it's AC Milan, and what a club. How do you say no to them? So it's a tricky one, but I just hope that we've got a plan in place, and if this Paqueta situation is resolved as well, I think that'll be massive. You know, if he is cleared of these charges and allowed to play, then maybe Emerson will go, we've got a Brazilian here who's in the national side. I've got to think of myself, and maybe he will want that move. But but you know, you can look at it from either end of the scale. He might say, I want to stay and play in this and take this Brazilian revolution forward. But it's that caveat, and I think it's not like he's rumored to be unhappy. It's not like he's causing any trouble. So for now, I think just, you know, put the valuation up high. If AC Milan do make a bid, then you see how he reacts. But to be honest, I wouldn't entertain it for now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we're all on the same page. Is don't sell him unless it's an astronomical fee, and we can bring in an adequate replacement to come into that first team, because I think that's the main issue, isn't it? We just don't have the depth right now, you know, either side, you know, right back and left back, even in our whole defense, to be honest. So we can't really be affording to sell our best players, especially with no replacements lined up. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you would do with Emerson. Would you try and hold on to him? Would you let him go to AC Milan and bring in someone else? Yeah, let us know. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And lads, until next time.
Come on, you Irons.